This is Tower Spiraling Fates, the hardest tower found in the game Duke's Towers of Hell. This tower is known for its wacky and crazy gameplay, banger music choices, and most importantly of all, being at the top of the difficulty chart and being the hardest tower in the entire game. Today, we're going to be talking about how this tower came to be, and how finally this tower was completed 4 years after its creation. Let's get started. Silazowski started building this tower in July of 2020. The tower started off being inspired by Crim Zenith's style of gameplay. For those who don't know, Crim Zenith is the creator of Tower of Externalizing Insanity in Ring 8. Seal also took some inspiration from his obbies like this one, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of. It soon changed into its own thing though, and Seal added the craziest and wackiest jumps he could think of, knowing he was going to push himself to make good, hard gameplay, harder than his previous hardest creation at the time, Tower of Elongated Runs. This tower wasn't made to be beaten, as the original difficulty of this tower was nil. But when it was getting added into Pit of Misery, it was decided to put the difficulty down to High Unreal. The reason for its high difficulty though is because Seal likes people no-clipping his obbies, and since they're able to play at their own leisure, they can put in a lot more effort into it and feel a sense of reward, rather than only being targeted to a very small amount of players who are the best at JToH, or maybe even no one if the tower is too hard. There are two main reasons for why this tower was made. Number 1, to dethrone ToER as its hardest creation, and number 2, to send a message to the community and have this tower be his final send-off. At the time, Seal was hanging around people that were very opinionated about JToH and how it was run, so he decided to incorporate this into his tower with this message at the end. Now there's 3 different variations of this message. There's the true message, the brain rot message, and the fake message. We'll start off with the last 2 first. If you make it to 410, you are teleported into this black box and slowly ascend into the wind pad while some button dialogue is playing, talking about the state of JToH. If you're doing this in the official game, it'll just spam dots and the words, "I love JToH!" over and over again. The brain rot message can be found in the Eternal Abyss version of ToSF, which is just the original message but a bunch of stupid brain rot terms. This is also the message that can be found in the completion of the tower. Finally, there's the real message. Now this message is super long and I'm not reading all of it, but to summarize, it's basically criticizing the staff team, how poorly the game is run, how the game is hard for new players to get into, and how the game has basically just become a competition to see who can make the most creative towers. If you want to read the full message, you can find it at the bottom of the ToSF JToH wiki page at the references section. I'll leave a link in the description. Nowadays, Seal doesn't really agree with this message anymore, and he doesn't really think about it too much. That's just an FYI for the people that thinks he's still super anti-JToH. Anyways, with all that yapping done about the history of this tower, we're finally going to be talking about how this tower was finally completed. Ever since this tower was put into the game, it had always been at the back of people's heads just because the tower just seemed way too difficult to even attempt. No serious runs of this tower were done until September of 2024, but we must go over the world records and other somewhat significant runs before the serious runs actually begin. The first notable record for this tower that I could find was on September 21st, 2023, around a year ago. This was done by a user named XXIC, where he reaches 4-3 of the tower. This run was mainly just done for fun and had no intent to actually try and beat it. In this run you can see he's very clearly shaking and he fails a jump that doesn't look too hard. I could be completely wrong on that though, since I'm absolute trash at the game there. He also only made it 3 jumps past the previous world record, according to when he says new world record in the chat. That about covers it for this record. The clip is only like 40 seconds long, so there isn't too much to talk about. Let's move on to some serious progress now. After this, the tower didn't have much development for a little while, remaining stagnant until every other tower in Pit of Misery was finished off until eventually it was only ToSF left. Skitsuna got started and uploaded his first run on August 30th, 2024. In the description of this video, he mentioned that he played the tower a little bit back in February of 2024, but he dropped it since he wasn't getting anywhere. On this run, he got a very lucky fluke over to 4-5, and he mentioned that it was only his 3rd attempt past 4-2. You can see he fell here because he completely misread the jump and had no idea what he was doing. The craziest part about this run is it only took him 3 hours to achieve. He decided to stick with the tower a bit longer to see how far he could get. He says the reason for starting this grind is because he managed to get some semi-decent runs back in February, one of which being a whole 4-6 run in 2 segments. Around late August he decided to try it again and it seemed doable to him. The first person to reach 4-6 of this tower was BoomSasok. He decided to do a few runs on this tower around the time when Skitsuna first got into grinding it. For my assumptions, he probably didn't play for that long and he was just playing it for fun. Something different about Boom's runs, however, is that he was playing on 90 FPS rather than on 144 or higher. He managed to get to 4-6 11 times before eventually dropping the tower and ultimately dropping it out of the race, meaning only Skitsuna is left to achieve the first place. The 4-6 run that is playing right now was on September 20th, which is 3 days before Skit reached 4-6. Before Skitsuna finally got to 4-6, he had a lot more fails on 4-5. It took him a grand total of 14 4-5 fails before he finally made it to 4-6. Here's a short little compilation of all of his fails. Anyways, after all of those fails, he finally managed to make it to 4-6. Shortly after the stream started, he failed pretty fast, but he managed to make really good progress, making it to the end of the 4, which is pretty insane since it was his first time there. I remember this time earlier is when Block decided to join the race. Block's history with this tower isn't super long or detailed. Basically, he just started playing the tower in around early to mid of 2024 for fun, and managing to reach the second last jump on 4-5 before ultimately stopping. He did consider the tower to be beatable though. Once progress started to ramp up for both Skitsuna and Boom, Block decided to come back to the tower and started to progress again. He also came back as he realized he was probably going to be able to verify Stairway to Heaven before getting into ToSF. He was trying to verify this obby and get it completely done with, but the ToSF race interested him and he decided to go for it. After only 2 days of grinding this tower, he managed to pull off something insane. That's right, Block managed to make it to 4-7 in 2 days. The fact he managed to reach up here in only 2 days is absolutely insane. He said he had not practiced anything past 4-6 at all, so his run did end very, very quickly. This run also happened only 5 days after Skit's 4-6 run happened on September 28th, so now progress is really starting to ramp up for this tower and new 4s are being reached within days of each other. Skitsuna then fired back with a 4-7 run of his own on October 1st. He made it a lot further into this run than Block, who failed the 5th jump of the 4. I'd like to say 80% of the way there. However, unfortunately, in this run he fell with this part. He gets very close back to where he was before, but unfortunately, he failed this flick and plummeted all the way down to 4-5. Unfortunately, it failed to see, but 4 is going to be any day there, especially since Skit was already super far into the 4. On the 5th of October, Block managed to reach 4-8. The footage of this isn't public, but he was nice enough to send a clip of his fail. Unfortunately, he hit his head while setting up this jump and ended up falling back to what seems like 4-7. He didn't make it super far in this attempt, but he made decent progress for his first attempt there. He made it between the start and the middle of the 4. On October 6th, he started up another stream and managed to reach 4-8 again multiple times. The furthest he made it on this stream was at this jump right here. He unfortunately missed the wraparound and wasn't able to get back there. However, this is basically right at the end of the 4, and it shows that 4-9 is going to be reached very soon. On the 7th of October, only 2 days after Block's 8 runs, Skit managed to reach 4-8 and failed the 4th jump. He says the reasoning for this fail is because he got a lag spike and it just didn't show in the recording. Skit also said that he hadn't played in a while due to him being really busy, so rustiness could have been a factor in how he didn't play as well as he may have. I'm sure he definitely did a lot of practice on 4-8 though to try and keep going. Maybe we'll see a further 4-8 run in the next couple of days, which would be crazy. Maybe we could even see 4-9 by the end of the week. What the fuck?! Yeah, so all of a sudden Skit just got a 4-9 run? What? How far did he even make it? Let's see here. Oh, damn. I mean, it's technically a 4-9 run. He did touch the part, but it literally ended the same second it started. So, yeah. The fail of all time. He also completely misses the 4-8 catch, which is just the cherry on top to this fail. Also, if you're wondering why the timer looks different now, it's because they moved over to a less laggy version of POM by Blocker, which is connected to the Eternal Abyss. Seems like it's done wonders for progress on this tower. 5 days later on October 13th, Block also managed to reach 4-9. And this time he didn't fail immediately. In fact, he got midway through the 4 on the outer section of the middle part, which is really, really good. He managed to get to the middle part again, but unfortunately failed and fell back to 4-7. Even with that fail, the fact we're getting this far is bonkers, and the tower can basically be in any day now. Block also said in the description of this video that he's getting super duper consistent at 4s 1-7, and claiming he's making it to 4 in every 30 minutes of playing, which is crazy consistency. At this point, both players are putting in hours every day to try and be that first person to touch the win pad. A week later, the second biggest day for this tower had happened. The biggest obviously being the completion, but we ain't there yet, just wait a little longer. October 20th. This day was absolutely crazy for both sides. First part of the day, Skit gets a run on 4-9 and makes it very close to the inside. He did say in the title it was the end of 9, but that's probably just for clicks since he had the whole inside to do. Block then got a crazy run on the inside, making it midway through. Skit fires back the same day with yet another run, as he inches closer and closer to 410, which as a reminder is completely free. This is what happens. Yeah, he fell. The fourth last jump of 4-9. He was getting so close, but failed just at the final stretch. This crushed Skitsuna bad and made him feel super demotivated, but he kept going for hours each day. A smaller but funnier thing happened today as well, where the YouTuber Creepcraft was playing ToSF. Obviously he saw the first jump, failed it twice, and dipped. Absolute cinema. 5 days later, Skitsuna made it back to 9 inside. He is flowing through the gameplay, making every precise jump, inching closer and closer to the end until he finally makes it back to his arch nemesis, the jump he failed before. He did it. He made the jump. Only 3 more jumps on 4-9 stand between him and the win pat. He failed. Again. That's right, not only did Skit fail the 4th last jump of the tower, he also failed the 3rd last jump. What? Everyone was shocked. Skit thought he had it in the bag, but he only progressed a singular jump further than last time. At this point, Skit was at the lowest he had ever been when grinding towers. What made this fail even worse is that the last 3 jumps of the tower were not hard for him. After that is literally a 5-stud wraparound and a netted head hitter, and then you're finished. After this fail, he announced on his community tab that he was probably done with obbies and ToSF for good. He said that it just got too frustrating to play and he just couldn't keep going. He also said that he's probably done with obbies for good too, since this was the peak of difficulty. ToSF is the hardest tower that is playable in JToH. What else is there to go after this? When Skit made this community post, Block decided to start up another stream shortly after. And this 4-hour stream would change the game forever. October 26th, a date that'll change the game forever. No one just knew it yet though. Block started his stream like any other and dived headfirst into runs after some off-stream practice. The stream started amazingly. He managed to reach 4-8 in under half an hour. Seems like that comment from earlier wasn't lying. He did have a couple of fails down to 4-5 at the lowest, but he kept managing to climb back up. He had only been doing actual runs for less than half an hour, so obviously he's got to warm up to doing actual runs first. 53 minutes into the stream, he reaches 4-8 again. He keeps on going and going and going and oh my god, he's getting far. Chat is going absolutely crazy. He's about to make it to 9. He's back. 4-9 again. After a little dance party at the beginning of the 4, presumably to try and calm down his nerves a little bit, he returns and does his first attempt of the 4. He fails but manages to catch himself on the net. Attempt 2 starts. He's made it to 9 inside. Could this be it? Nope, back to 4-8. That's fine though. Still got a chance to recover. He comes back for another 9 attempt, but fails the 3rd jump. Back again. Fails early again. Back again. Another dance party. Another attempt. Another fail. More fails happen where he falls to 8 and gets back to 9. Now he fails 4-9 a lot during this run, and we'd be here all day if I just kept on going. But the routine usually goes get to 4-9, dance party, couple of attempts, some of them get to the inside, but end with him messing up in one way or another. In fact, this stream had a total of 39 4-9 fails on the stream alone. It's probably in the 50s or something like that if we're talking about total fails. Anyways, we're getting off topic. On attempt 40 of 4-9 on the stream, this is what happened. He had done it. He made it to floor 10. Only 5 super easy jumps over a net, which he did instantly, and it's over. Tower of Spiraling Fates has been completed. Every single tower in JToH has been completed. After so many boundaries were broken and SCs were beaten, we have reached the peak of difficulty. The chat was going absolutely wild, and the stream had over 2,200 concurrent viewers watching his completion of the tower. The stream itself right now, as of October 28th, 2024, has over 37k views, and the video having 25k views. This is the biggest completion in the history of the game in both numbers and difficulty. After the tower got beaten, Skitsuna decided to update his community post saying that he'll come back to finish off the tower before he's done with obbies for good. We don't totally know what's next in difficulty for Roblox obbies. Right now, Block is going back to grinding Stairway to Heaven, and he's gotten really close, failing the last jump twice as in there, so he'll probably finish that off sometime soon, and Skitsuna is still going at it with ToSF. Him hopefully becoming the second victor of the tower. The section you just listened to was recorded like a week ago, so a lot of progress has happened during that time. A lot of people are trying ToSF now with varying progress. Greenbeard has been making it pretty far, and he's managed to get a run over to floor 9. Some others have managed to reach floor 5 to 6 as well, and it may be a little while before we see a second victor of this tower, but I wouldn't take it completely off the table. For now though, this is where obbies are standing. Anyways, I would like to thank Skitsuna, CoIV, and Block for providing me information about the history of this tower in both players and creation. Thanks to everyone who documented other footage about the history of this tower, and thank you the viewer for watching.